Okay, so the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It's designed to prevent discrimination and credit extensions. You can't discriminate based on sex, marital status, race, color, age, religion, national origin, receipt of welfare. Okay? You can't discriminate on these things. So just because I'm a white guy doesn't mean you can't give me money. Alright, now if I have bad credit, sure. Just because I'm married, well, no, you can't discriminate. Okay, sorry, you can't do it. Alright? Just because I'm going to heaven, well, I'm actually driving the bus to hell. But no, you can't discriminate because of that. Now, what are the penalties for this? Well, again, it's just like what you would think with anything else. And again, most of you have probably put in applications for credit and whatnot, so this shouldn't be anything new to you. But penalties, damages, all right? Punitive damages up to a $10,000 fine designed to punish. Again, you know I like money. Attorney's fees, yay. Legal costs, and even an injunction, an equitable defense designed to make you stop what you're doing. Fair Credit Reporting Act. Consumer rights when denied credit, insurance, or employment due to bad credit rating. Okay. Investigative consumer report, character, general reputation, 3 days notice to consumer, reasonable set procedures credit agencies must observe. So this is all requirements under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Truth in Lending Act. Again, for those of you that have ever tried to buy a house, you'll see this, or been denied for a credit card. It's used to avoid uninformed use of credit. Truth in Lending Simplification Act of 1980. There are criminal and civil penalties and assures meaningful disclosure of credit terms. Okay? What types of things are covered with this? Lenders in business of extending credit. Banks. Debtor is a natural person, not a corporation. Finance charge may be imposed. Okay, they got to tell you. Credit is obtained for personal, family, household, or agriculture. All right. In all these situations, truth in lending is covered. Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. I do a little bit of property stuff on the side, the landlord, tenant, and I'll tell you what, sometimes it's hard to get those tenants to pay. Well, let's see what I can and can't do. Covers consumer debt collection. Alright, now what can I do to get money? Protect against certain debt collection agency techniques. Again, you can't lie to people. Agency must be in primary business of consumer debt collection for others. So these are going to be collections people, not necessarily me. Debtor must be given notification to agency to stop. Okay. Remedies, debtor can sue for actual damages or a fine of $1,000, and obviously state laws apply. So certainly, some of the stuff that I've seen with this, they can't call at certain times, they can't harass you, this, that, and the other. But I tell you, sometimes it's hard to get people to pay. I'll just tell you, it's hard. Consumer Financial Protection Act. Created the Consumer Financial Protection Board, and they administer these things. Okay, their authority overlaps the FTC. Now, what about bankruptcy? Bankruptcy is a very interesting area of law, and it allows you to get rid of all your debts in certain circumstances, or to reduce the amount of debt you owe, like a cram down provision, and it's designed to help people when they have an inability to pay. Certainly, when you file for bankruptcy, it stays on your record for, I want to say it's either 7 or 10 years. And for some people, this is a really good thing. I've had friends of mine, even at young ages, file bankruptcy because they got into various financial problems, and as a result, they came out smelling like roses, for lack of a better term. So in certain circumstances, this is a very good thing. What I don't like seeing is when people abuse it. How do you do it? Well, you file your petition. Gosh, it sounds just like any other lawsuit, because it is. You can do it voluntarily or involuntarily. Creditor must be owed $2,300 or more to make the person file bankruptcy. Now, for the individual, you have Chapter 7, and that's just liquidation of assets and just getting rid of everything. Chapter 13 is the adjustment of debts. That's where you see cram down provisions and whatnot. 2005 amendment forces above median earners to adjust rather than liquidate. When this is done, a trustee is appointed, elected by the creditors to represent the debtor's estate. Creditor priority classes must satisfy debt by classes, so this class will be satisfied, then this class, etc., etc., etc. Discharge or further obligation by debtor or creditor. Certain debts cannot be discharged. So when you're looking at these things, you got to say, what's going to be best. And again, I've seen bankruptcy do actually wonderful things. But again, what I don't like seeing is whenever it's abused. But I think we could argue that we'll see that with just about any programs that are out there. But again, bankruptcy is a good thing if used properly.